Welcome to Money Convos, where we discuss personal finance and investment tips. We're committed to helping people create wealth and achieve financial freedom. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Clubhouse, and Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube and podcast. Alright then, let's head into today's conversation.
Hello, welcome to our session. I've sent you a request, or you can request for the mic so you join me up here if you are available to speak. So today we are going to be talking about Val's Day. Val's Day is right around the corner, a little under a week away, and I'm sure some people are feeling the pressure. Today we're going to have some other people besides the regular Money Convos team joining us. So they'll be joining in a few moments. So just hang in here and we'll start. Hello, Painter.
Hi.
Please pronounce your name.
Painter. But
Painter.
then it's Anglican.
Okay.
Well, that's a fancy version. The anglicized version is Painter. It's just Painter. But then I'm extra, so I put the fancy version of the name in my bio.
Interesting. That's nice. I'll try to pronounce the fancy version. Speaking of fancies, Mimi, I see you in the audience. Please do come up, join us here. We've got some guests joining us. I would ask you to introduce yourselves in a moment. And Mimi also welcome Zugba. Please, am I mentioning your name right? Zugba, are you there? Okay, Mimi, how you doing? Okay, I guess I'll just start with Painter then. Painter, how you doing?
Hi, I'm fine, I guess.
Okay. You guess? Okay.
I don't know what to say. This economy, you can't say you are fully fine in this economy, so I guess it's a necessary disclaimer.
I see. Pardon me, when you said there's an anglicized version of your name, I figured, maybe you are dealing with the DB over here. You know, sometimes the DBs also like to take their advantage.
Oh, not at all.
Okay.
I'm a hustler.
Okay.
I'm a broke bitch. Thank you very much.
Interesting. Anyway, since some of our audience are new today, perhaps I'll introduce myself and I encourage other members on stage here to introduce themselves. So, hi, I'm Elikem. I run Money Convos with my group of friends. Mimi is the founder. Most of us are finance professionals and some are enthusiasts, and we like to teach people financial literacy with no strings attached, because we believe that people normally learn about money and investments from people who are trying to sell something to them. So over here, we like to have these candid conversations where you don't have to feel the pressure of anyone selling anything to you. We don't have sales targets, right? Anyway, so that's a bit about us. How about you, Painter? Please tell us a bit of a brief about yourself. Okay.
I'm sorry, I missed the last few.
Yeah, so I was saying, I just introduced myself and I was asking if you could tell us a bit of a brief about yourself.
My name is Mama Painter. What else is there about me that I think people should know? I'm mad, and then what else? Sometimes I'm frugal. Yes, that's
Okay.
it.
Okay.
I think that's about it. Yes.
Okay, that's good. And I'm curious, do you have a Valentine for this year? So
me, me
or
myself.
maybe not,
I
do you
actually
have
have my mom. My mom is my Valentine. You are never truly alone in an African household. I think everybody, even if you want to be alone on Val's Day, if you live in an African home, you are never truly alone. So yes.
Okay, that's cool. That's interesting. Okay, so switching to the Grey Jedi. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, my internet is just being really shaky today, but yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. Nice to have you here. please tell us a bit about yourself before we head into this conversation.
Okay, sure. So my name is, most people call me Zogba. I'm very okay with that. It's not my formal name, but it's a name I find quite endearing and have become quite attached to. So I'm very okay with being called Zogba. That's fine. What else about myself? I am not a super frugal person. I'm not like the greatest person at financial literacy. So I'm hoping to learn a few things on this space as well as what I can contribute. I was primarily recommended for this space, I think, because I think about things like this in a very broad context beyond just like the finances, right? So I'm looking at it from like different perspectives and why sometimes we think finances, or why sometimes finances are so important. They might be proxies for something else or something like that. So I think that's what I'd be contributing here, but I'm also very interested to listen to what other people. I feel like there's a lot to learn. So yeah, that's about it. I guess I live in Ghana and I work. I also do that.
Okay, all right. Thank you for joining us today. So yeah, what you've said really summarizes what we're going to be discussing today. Looking at love and money, relationships and money from as broad a perspective as possible. I don't want it to be just me coming to talk. Maybe it's boring, maybe it's boring. Should make it sound very boring. But whilst we want to add some spice to it, hear what the perspectives are. As one of my friends will say, Charlie, there's what's in the book and there's what's on the streets. So we're trying to get a bit of that perspective, and hopefully we'll still learn some formal principles of money while we are at it. So Mimi, are you there? Are you catching the bullets I'm throwing at your way?
I forgive you. Hello everyone, welcome to Money Convos.
Okay, great. So Mimi, get us started, right? In these times, in the month of February, what do you start thinking about when Val's Days is coming to the picture?
Okay.
First, wait, do you have a Valentine? And I'm asking this question for the benefit of everyone.
For one, because it seems that who is supposed to, it's not living up to expectations. So.
Oh, Chairman.
I'm looking for one.
That's interesting. So yeah, but what are your thoughts as the time is coming around, apart from looking for one?
Well, I've not really been a Val's Day person, but the thing is that it's an opportunity to eat cake and chocolate, so why not? That's all I'm looking for my Valentine. I think that it's just a time that people just also get to talk about love in general. And apart from, receiving nice gifts and all that, you get a lot of talk, singles, couples doing one thing or the other. Yeah, so that's what Valentine is for me. It's not really a big deal, but I think that a lot of companies jump on it to make a lot of sales. So I probably guess, depending on where you sit, it can be a big deal. Yeah.
Okay, depending on where you sit, companies are gonna make money of you if you allow it to happen. Interesting. Speaking of eating cake, I remember back in the day before I became unemployed, when we were in the office, we used to chastise the young ladies in my office. Hey, where's Jennifer? They didn't have boyfriends. So Val's Day, we weren't getting cake to eat. And no cake, no donuts, nothing. None of these young ladies were there. By lunchtime, we the boys would drive and go and be doing our deliveries and come back to meeting, I think, in our office. So shameful. When you see Jennifer, please tell her that I said she didn't try. She should change that. Anyway, so yeah, I also look forward to that time. And many years ago, there was a time in my life where, when I was in university, I had a certain trend. If I'm in a relationship with someone first semester and by Christmas it's not going well, we'll celebrate the Christmas and all, but by 15th January, if it's not going too well, no, it has to end. Because if I'm with you, I'll have to splurge. And I can't be splurging on somebody that the relationship is not really going well, then you have to do the math. Okay, even if you are with the person during vows, like you can't break up with the person too close to vows day. That's too obvious. And if you can't break up with the person on vows day. You can't even let it be like 1 week after. There has to be a bit of buffer. So see myself the trouble. 15th by the new year, I'm evaluating my life decisions. And seeing whether this person should be with me or not. And I guess there was a pattern to it. Always first semester in a relationship, second semester not in a relationship. I guess Vows Day is a part of it. So, that's many, many years ago. Those were the thoughts. But as I'm older and wiser, I guess it's been, and having been in a more stable relationship for up until a certain point, it was more of, okay, why are we doing this Vows Day? And we usually used to celebrate Vows Day like a day or two before, because the one time that we tried, Charlie, there was too much traffic in town. I couldn't believe it. But anyway, so those are some of my thoughts around when Vows Day is coming up. Pencil, how about you?
Okay, so I think I should start first by saying that in my household, holidays are not really a thing. So we don't have special holidays. Like, how some families will go all out for Christmas, all out for New Year, all out for your birthday. In my house, it's just a very ordinary day. So Vows Day kind of falls under it, especially because it's not a public holiday. I do not get to rest. I have to go to work. So it's just like, okay, another day. But when I was in a relationship, because building memories is important for me, I would plan something with my partner, because again, the aim wasn't really about the day. It's more about, building memories and taking pictures and crystallizing these moments in time. So there's that. Money-wise, I come from a very, very do with your means household. So it's never really been an issue for me. But the one thing I think I would love to experience would be a friend-themed Vows Day, because I don't really see a lot of those. But maybe next year, not this year. This year, please, the haircuts and all that have taken all our money away. We don't have time for all these things. But generally, that's where my mind is at when it comes to Valentine's Day.
That's interesting. Last week we on Money Convos we discussed how the debt exchange is affecting people. So nobody mentioned Vows Day splurging. So it's good you've mentioned this. To anyone who is now hearing this, go back, check out our podcast. You can hear the conversation we had last week, and just as you are listening, insert Vows Day spending also has to go down.
Insert? Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so let's see. Zoba, how about you? What are your thoughts on Vows Day?
So I think that the first thing I want to say is that I think that finding a reason to celebrate is always a good thing. So like Valentine's Day being a celebration of love, a lot of people think it's called capitalist way to take your money, and you don't necessarily find a special day to show your girl that she's special to you, all of that stuff. Yes, I understand that. Like if you love your girl, you should do something nice for her every day, or whoever it is that you love, you should do something nice for them every day. But it's also great to have like a day to celebrate something special. So like I appreciate the utility of Valentine's Day. Is there like some commercial element to it where people end up spending a lot of money? Of course, right? But I think that and I guess I'll go into this a little bit further down the line, that like relationships in general have become very commercialized, where it's like, if you love your partner, this is something you'll do for them. If you love your partner, this is something you'll get them. If you love your partner, and then like these become what people consider to be standard, right? So this is a standard part of the relationship. And I think that like surrounding Valentine's Day, that's something that has become more and more like, what, you didn't get your girlfriend chocolates and flowers on Valentine's Day? What kind of boyfriend does that? Like, and that's the standard. Like anything else you do, if you don't do that, like you might as well just throw it all out. But then like everything else that you do beyond that, ranging from spa dates to trips to all of that, like tends to be interpreted as your how much affection you feel, or like it tends to be like put as a one-to-one as how much affection you feel towards the other person. So yeah, like it's good to celebrate Valentine's Day, but I also think that we shouldn't lose the spirit of what Valentine's Day is supposed to be, which is a celebration of like affection between two people, in like, you know, the idea that it's a money driven, how much money the person spends, how much they can
buy. Please, in light of this, nobody should say Pim about my 1,000 reasons why I love you jar of notes, please. Nobody should say anything about that again. Thank you.
He said, why you love what?
Why I love you. 1,000 reasons why I love you. See, Zogba just hit it on the nail. hit the nail on the head. It's about celebrating love, please. Thank you.
Absolutely, yes.
That's interesting. And you, Zogba, you led right into the next question I was going to ask you. And at this point, I invite our audience. I see some names in there. I had invited up Abna, let's see, Abna and a few other names. If you are available to talk, please do request the mic. Seram, come up. KBK, you could also come up if you are available to talk. I would like your take on these things. Let's not make it only boring Mimi come to give us her finance things. Okay, so the question I have for you now is, as Val's Day is coming, who should be spending? Is it the guys? And you see, I'm in the US, so I have to issue a whole bunch of disclaimers before I get cancelled. We are having this conversation. I'll leave the context open, but I'll ask this question based on a heterosexual couple, okay? Because that's where the general discussions come to play. So, in a man and woman relationship, right? Who should be spending on who? Whose pockets should start vibrating right now? Who should be feeling the pinch as we are 6 days to Val's Day? Who would like to go first? Just if you're up here, just for the sake of order, we could just show a reaction so that I know in which order to invite people. Yeah. Okay. So we'll do Zogba, then we'll continue. All right, Zogba, go ahead.
Okay, so I mean, it depends on whether or not you have a very traditional relationship or whether you are like in a more progressive relationship. For most traditional relationships around Valentine's Day, the brunt of the spending is on the man, right? Like if you're in a very traditional relationship where you're expecting your man to provide certain things for you during the relationship, then yes, the brunt of the spending should be on the man. If you're in a more progressive relationship, and when I say progressive relationship, I mean one where you feel like there is like, you know, it is not, you are kind of doing away with the whole gender role thing where it's like, this is not a man's job, this is not a woman's job. We are a couple and this is like our job as people to do this. Then it's both of your like responsibilities to spend money. Nobody should spend more money than the other, and gift should not be based on how much, you know, the other person's gift is going to be. At that point, you really should be going all out for each other. There shouldn't be any kind of nobody's pocket should really be vibrating, or both of yours, but it shouldn't be one more than the other, depending on the kind of relationship that you have.
That's interesting. So depending on the kind of relationship you want, traditional versus progressive. Interesting thoughts there. Mimi, sorry, before I come to you, Abna, welcome. Nice to have you joining us. Could you just briefly introduce yourself and give us your thoughts on this question?
Hi, so my name is Abna, or a lot of people know me by my first name, that's Angel. So basically, I have a little business that deals more with the romantic side of things. That is the flowers, the gifts, everything basically, and even balloon deco as well. This matter here, honestly speaking, I would tell you from my point of view, which is I feel like everybody needs to show love to everybody. As in, it doesn't matter who is the big spender, or there's no gender roles in this situation. I, for one, I believe in making your person happy. And making your person happy for me means that things that make them happy. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. If they like certain things, do it for them. That's if you can afford you know. But I also feel like there's certain things you may be able to afford. There's always something you can afford. Always, always, always something that you can afford. It doesn't have to be the grand gestures, you know. And also, I think if you're with someone who even appreciates the little things, it helps. That is probably most important, because there's certain people that have different types of love languages. I feel like now even gifts are a general love language for everybody. But sometimes when it's coming from you, the person they love, they take it differently, or the appreciation is much more different. I don't know if you're understanding where I'm coming from. So that's my little take. But honestly, there's no gender roles. If you can spend on your person. Because me spending on my person makes me happy. It gives me satisfaction. So there's not much of a, oh, he's the man, or any kind of thing like that. So yes, that's my little 2 cents on this.
That's interesting. Do what you can, everybody show love. That's nice. Okay, Mimi, how about you? What's your take?
Well, honestly, I'm a lady and it's nice to be at the receiving end. However, I was just looking at a friend post some stuff for Val's Day and I didn't see anything for meals. I don't know, maybe balloons and chocolates. I don't know. I don't see it as a meal thing. But I didn't see anything for meals. It just got me thinking about, like, sometimes how entitled we are as women to some of these things. And so yeah, that's just what I wanted to say. I think that, I mean, ideally it should be not like you should expect me to give you a gift, but there's somebody you love. So if you revere Val's Day and you think it's an opportunity to show your love, then give the person something, and then hopefully the person gives you something. You know, I'm not someone who, like, I don't like the idea of giving because I have to get back, but I just think that it should be an act of love. You understand? So that's my view on Val's Day. When I was asking for the cake and chocolates, was I thinking about a gift to give to the person? No, that's the honest truth. But that's why I said I think as women we become entitled.
That's quite a perspective, the entitlement, but and the call to not the call to giving without expecting to get back. That's also quite interesting. Okay, let's see. Pencil, I'm curious about your perspective on this. Then we go to Lee.
I agree with Abena actually. If you love your partner, you want to see them happy. I mean, do something, but again, you don't have to break bank. Let's say you're a guy, getting female options or female things are actually always cheaper. The men's stuff that cost an arm and a leg, I have no idea or no reason why it should. But there's always something within your means. And nobody knows your partner better than you. If you don't know your partner, then really you shouldn't be with your partner. But nobody knows your partner better than you. Nobody knows what they are likely to appreciate better than you. I would like to use something that happened on Twitter, I think, this week, where somebody did a period care package and it had a lot of sweets. So Nescafe, malts, chocolates, milk, like sweet flavored milk. Personally, if you bring that to me, I'll be very upset because I generally do not like sweets. I like savories and I'm lactose intolerant. So why are you giving me a package with milk? But this person obviously knows their partner, and their partner actually came out and said, like, this is one of the most thoughtful gifts she has received in a very long while. So I think that the thing here is know your partner so that you know, because sometimes you wouldn't have to spend if your partner is the sentimental type. Something as simple, well, it would be money, but it's as simple as maybe a very simple date, or, you know, the two of you just hanging out, spending the whole day, or, you know, doing something thoughtful, a card or one of these Your Banks cards. it wouldn't have to be expensive because your partner is sentimental. If your partner is more into, she wants or they want to see the things, then you would have to go that extra mile. So overall, I agree with Abena, but at the underlining all this, I believe that you should know your partner. Nobody knows your partner better than you. Knowing your partner and knowing the dynamics of your relationship will help you determine how much you should spend and if anybody should spend anything at all. For some people, I just want to spend the day with you. I just want to breathe the same air. In fact, I want to live in your skin. That is enough for them. But for some people, I want us to go out, experience new things. That is enough for them. So just know how to navigate your relationships. That's it.
Interesting. Maybe right now I'm seeing some boys in the audience just trying to see how do some formulas to figure out how they can find people who just want to breathe the same air as them. Boys don't want to spend. So if you know that formula, please share it in as a reply so that our brethren can figure this out, because they have received haircuts and they are doing withdrawals. The money is not coming.
Please, boy, you men like expensive people. You put like exoticas and expensive people. Let us breathe. You people love to spend. Let us breathe. Okay, let us breathe.
Can I say something on that really quick?
Okay, go ahead.
So you know when people say that, like, they are sometimes you can get sentimental gifts, and sentimental gifts are not super expensive. I just wanted to say that, like, two things. First of all, almost any gift is expensive. Even time is expensive, because, like, if you just say, I just want to see you, a lot of the time the onus is put on the man to prepare a place where they can see each other, like in a comfortable enough environment that they can actually just chill and hang out together. He's probably going to have to buy food. He's probably going to have to, whatever entertainment you guys are going to do at the time, he's going to have to pay for that. So, like, all of that is money. It might seem like, oh, this is just like a sentimental thing that we are spending time together, but that is also money. That's the first thing. The second thing is that a lot of the times, if this is something that you guys do a lot in the relationship, I have found that at some point, the sentimental things don't hit as hard anymore, because it's like, oh, well, you do this all the time, and what? And so at that point, you have to escalate, and then things become more expensive. But I might be wrong. This might just be like this might be my flawed perspective, but yeah, I just wanted to put that forward.
Interesting. The escalation, normal when expensive things or sentimental things become the norm, then you have to escalate, Charlie. So right now, again, for the boys on the streets, I'm sure they are doing the calculations. Okay, lesson learned. Don't do gifts too often. Surprise it. It's just once a while. Okay, all right.
The Netflix and chill no bukatis again, Charlie. Right now, you for Charlie, before order. Show and says, you for lay flowers on the bed and says.
Okay. Interesting. So we have 3 more. In fact, 3 more people joining with perspectives on this. I think Lee. Oh, Lee, did you just drop off? Okay, I'll bring you up. But before then, we can take Angelu. But Lee, do come up if you can.
Okay, can I speak?
Yes, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. So first off, hello everyone. And I want to say that, okay, so that whatever someone said, if you're in a progressive relationship, all of that stuff, like, I get it, but I think that to tag it being like, oh, the guy and the girl both put out on Valentine's Day as being progressive, I think is disingenuous. Personally, for me, when I start talking to someone and I know it's going to get serious, I make it clear that from the get-go, Valentine's Day is about me. Okay? Every other holiday, anniversary, birthdays, like, just because gifts, like, I do all of that stuff. But Valentine's Day is about me. The guy gets nothing. Like, Valentine's Day, you have to go all out for me. But for birthdays and all other things, I will, like, go all out for you. Like, just maybe randomly once in a month, I will get him a really nice gift, a really expensive gift. But every other, on Valentine's Day, it's about me. So I think it's disingenuous. Like, and I want nice things on Valentine's Day because I can also afford to give my man those nice things every other day, like just because gifts and all of that stuff. But on Valentine's Day, I want my man to go all out for me. So when I start talking to someone, I make it clear from the beginning, and they are okay with it. Like, there are some men who are okay with that because they don't necessarily care about getting stuff on Valentine's Day. They just want to make their girl happy. So yeah, I just wanted to come up and say that. And I know like a lot of women try to do this thing where it's like, oh, like, yeah, I want to do stuff for my man too. But like, you have every other day to do stuff for your man. Like, I feel like take one day where it's like Valentine's Day, where it's like, it's all about you, and that should be okay. Like, you don't got to do anything for no man. Okay, I'm done.
That's an interesting perspective, and I could see all the reactions. Shock, laughter, loving it. And I was just thinking, terms and conditions apply. I like how you at least let people know right at the top. But I'm curious, if you just allow me to just ask one question on this. You said just one dish is all about you. What about your birthday?
That's different. Like, that's okay. I feel like that's different. That's a different like occasion. It's not the same as Valentine's Day because like my birthday is also all about me, but Valentine's Day is different. I don't feel like that makes sense. It makes sense to me and the person I'm dating. So like, yeah, but I feel like those are two different days. Yeah, because anniversaries, we share anniversaries, like it's a thing. But on my birthday, I feel like that's different. Like, that's the day I was born. That's a new chapter. But for Valentine's Day, I want to be baby girled and spoiled.
That's nice. So which day would be solely for your partner?
And that's why I say that I would do just because gifts. Like, once in a while, like in a month, I will get him a really nice gift. Like, I'll take him out to a really nice dinner, like once a month, like things like that. So he gets that day for himself. Does that make sense? So it's not like he's not getting anything. But at the end of the day, if you also don't want to do anything for your man, you don't have to, because men deserve less. So.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. Okay. That's interesting. That's interesting. Okay. Let's see who else came up recently. If you raised your hand earlier and I haven't called you yet. Okay. Lee is back. Lee, we'll hear from you and then we go to Seiram.
Yeah. Hello, guys.
Hi, Lee.
Oh.
Yes, I can. Hello? Okay, yeah. We'll circle back to you.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you, so please go ahead.
Okay. I hope the direction hasn't changed too much, because I sort of went off.
No, it's still the question of who should be taking care of the bills for Val's Day, man or woman?
Okay, so for me, what I know about Val's Day is not necessarily how do you call it, sharing that love between two people. It's supposed to be a general thing, but if two people want to make it a special day between them, then I think everyone has to put in the effort of making it special for the other person, right? Because I also believe that if you actually love someone, you do what you expect them to also do for you, right? So if I say I love you, I should do something that will make you, I believe would make you happy. And if you say you love me, also do something that you think will make me happy. And then I think forgotten her name, but then she basically put it that you have to know your partner, right? It's all about knowing what interests your partner, what your partner likes, and what actually makes them happy. So if you know that, then you are set, right? And if you've decided that, okay, Valentine's Day, I want to make my partner feel special, you shouldn't have a problem with what should I get him, how should I do it, or whatever. You should get to know your partner. I feel most of the time it's guys who are taking time to know ladies more than ladies take time to know men. So they find it difficult, what should I get him? And if you're a lady and you say, I don't know what to get my man, then I think you don't know him. Probably you are just in a relationship for your personal benefit. I may be wrong, but to me, that's how it looks like. So if two people have decided to make Valentine's Day special for each other, then they should both put in the effort. It doesn't matter who should bear the responsibility. It should be something the two of you have decided to do, maybe individually or both plan, but then make the other person feel special just as much as you want them to make you feel special. That's my little take on that.
Okay, that's interesting. Thanks for sharing that. Sarah, how about you? Sarah was telling us last week when we were just talking as the Money Convos people that she doesn't celebrate Val's Day. Sarah, have you changed your mind?
Hey, I've changed though.
You've changed? Yo, we hear you. What's your take now?
I've actually aligned with Angelou. I don't know if I hope I've got her name right. Really, Val's Day. Fortunately for me, my husband is not he's not a Val's Day person, but I am a gift person. So it boils down to knowing your partner, as everyone has said. It boils down to knowing the person, because he is not into Val's Day, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't get me something. Like, I'm expecting something. So if I don't, the year I didn't get anything on Val's Day, there was war. So he knows that I am expecting. So yeah, you should know your partner, and if your partner is expectant, I feel like Val's Day is for the women. So yeah, I'm aligned with Angelo.
Okay, all right, that's interesting. Okay, so let's shift the question a little bit now. Okay, Angelo, you want to make a comment on this?
Wait, what Sarah said, we get each other because we actually have the same name. So we just click per. I just wanted to say that. That's all I wanted to say.
Interesting. Okay, all right. So let's see. I think Zugba said something earlier, and he was talking about like how it should be depends on the kind, whether someone wants a traditional relationship or a progressive one. I'm curious what kind of relationships people want, so we could go around and we could ask this. But let me put some definitions on these things. I may be right, I may not be wrong, but to try to keep the conversation more contained. Let's see. A traditional relationship is one where I'm defining it as one where there are gender roles, and the man does this, the woman does that. The progressive one is more, everyone contributes, everyone does, like not so patriarchal, not like the ones that our grandparents had, a more modern kind of relationship. So perhaps you could share your thoughts, and if you want to change, maybe digress from either of these two, you could just explain what you want, and we'll be interested in knowing your perspective. So KBK, I would start with you, and then we go to Angie.
Yeah, I was going to say that idea of the definition of traditional, I'm still struggling with, because when I think about gender roles, it means that the woman does not have a source of income and is financially dependent on the man. And I think our society, and we had spoken about entitlement and women feeling entitled to gifts in there during Valentine's Day, is really not our fault. It's just the way the world has made it to be, because we were not making money. So at best, what can I do for my husband? Is his own money I'll use to buy, maybe if his favorite food is okra, my own is to work out what to do with his money to get him what makes him happy. So I think it's just something that was born out of our society, that women feel like they are the ones who should be on the receiving end, because literally we have nothing, and we are carrying your children, we are struggling, everything. So it seems like that's our role, and your role is to just feed us money and whatever and what's not. So when you say traditional in present day, I don't understand what it means necessarily. So if you are in a traditional relationship today, does that mean that you are also not, as a woman, you are also not working, and the man is the one like feeding everything? But obviously, like that's not realistic. So when I'm thinking of traditional, I'm just thinking as the man is the sole financial person. Why is True Bonyo doing thumbs down? Anyway.
Okay, interesting. And I get the nuances you are bringing. Back then it was like that. Now it's a bit different. So I'm curious, which one would you prefer? Or even if it doesn't fall right within these lines, how would you define what you prefer? maybe somebody's checking you out in the audience and used to see if he can cope.
Where would you introduce?
No, just kidding about that last part.
That dimension. Obviously, by God's grace, I'm rich, so I don't really have to worry about a man doing anything for me, right? But I think a lot of people have touched on it. I like playing, so I can't play here, but it seems like we are serious over here. So I just think that knowing your partner and doing what they want for them, like personally, for Angelou, for instance, she just feels like Valentine's Day should be about her, and I agree. Like, why not? It depends on what the as a couple you guys have decided. Because a lot of men, if we are being honest, you guys also like to show off and like to like show people that you've done this for your girl, and everything somebody must be giving and somebody must be receiving. Assuming we are all trying to do surprise, it will be a mess. So why don't we just like let the men take over Valentine's Day and show their powers? I really agree with that stance. Personally, I wouldn't be in a traditional relationship because I think that having financial security on my own is important. So to me, traditional relationship is that I don't have my own like financial life, and the man is the one that has to do everything. I don't like to use the word progressive because then it introduces a lot of things and complications, but anything where we can come to an agreement together that, okay, this is what we are going to do, or just let things also flow. Like, why are we also discussing certain things? I don't know. It's hard. I don't believe in like defining relationships too much. I think that people have different personalities, and knowing your partner makes everything easy and makes it easy to discuss like what you want moving forward.
Oh, that's interesting. No, you don't like definitions. Okay, that's good. Nice to hear your perspective. Let's hear from Angel, then Granger, I come to you.
Hi. Can you repeat the question for me a bit?
Okay. So the question is, so if I were to draw like, if I were to define certain types of relationships, I could say there are some that are traditional and some that are more progressive. So at this point, maybe now I don't want to even put definitions to them, maybe, but how you understand the spectrum from extremely traditional to most progressive. Where would you like to fall in, and how do you like your relationship to be?
Okay, to be honest, I'm someone that I don't think traditional is where I would say I'm looking at, but generally for me, even where my friends are concerned, I like to make people I love happy. So this is a bit dicey because that's just how I am. So naturally, I would be leaning towards what we would call progressive. Not that, let's not take it out of context. But yes, I would lean towards that more because, like I said earlier on, it gives me satisfaction just seeing somebody I care about happy. So, everybody has what they want and what they think should work for them. Like other people said, they want that day to be about them, meaning that, probably their partner doesn't mind or they're okay with it. There are different rules to everybody's relationship. And if it works for you, no problem. I, for one, I probably will not be comfortable if it's going that way all the time. So I definitely enjoy like a bit of a two-way thing. Occasionally it can go one-sided where he does a lot of the things, the nice things, but I'll also do the like big ones as well, because I'll be very, very uncomfortable if I have a partner that's like constantly doing all the gift buying and the planning and stuff like that. But I'm a big planner. I'm very big on planning, so I'm always trying to whip up something or create some idea. I think that's why I went into business for it, honestly. So that's just my thing. I think it's just a bit of both, more or less, a bit of both. It depends on the occasion too. Yeah, it depends on the occasion.
Okay. Nice. A bit of both. Okay, that's nice. Thanks for sharing that. Great Jedi. Then we go to Pentu.
Okay, so I just wanted to clarify a couple of things because I was the one who mentioned like traditional versus progressive relationships, and I was not talking about it in like the strictest sense in terms of like, traditional relationships are where the man goes to work and the woman stays home and takes care of the house. I just meant like in terms of like the gender role expectations. So like if you expect the man to be the person who is the quote unquote provider or like the aggressor in the relationship, not a situation where like, the role that there are no necessarily defined roles. So when people are like, oh, you're a man, like that's your job as a man to spoil your woman. That is a more traditional way of thinking about it because you're basically saying that is your role. Like as far as gender roles go, as a man, this is what you're supposed to do. And where they're like, oh, it's a woman's place to be nurturing towards a man or whatever, like that is also like a very traditional mindset. So as a woman, this is your job in the relationship, as opposed to a more progressive relationship where it's like, okay, well, if she's making $1 million and she wants to buy you a Bugatti, that's cool. Cause like, maybe you work a job where you make 50K, but you guys are happy together and, she wants to splurge on you all the time. She never wants, like, do you get what I mean? So it's not necessarily like a defined thing where it's like, it's the man's job to do this and it's the woman's job to do this. It's just about what each person wants to do. So that's the distinction between traditional and like progressive in my eyes. Now, like you said, it's not they're not discrete, right? There's a lot of like space for stuff in between. And a lot of that comes with, it's a spectrum. That's the word I was looking for. A lot of that comes with whatever conversation and discussions you have with your partner about what they expect from you and what you expect from them. Some people expect progressiveness in some aspects and traditional in some aspects and vice versa. So like you guys kind of have to hash that out, find out what you are more comfortable like compromising on and what you are less comfortable compromising on. If you're asking me what I lean to, I lean far more towards a progressive relationship now, simply because like I feel like it's easier to share those burdens between you than to put all of the burden on one person and say, this is your job in the relationship to do this, and this is this person's job, especially considering the fact that like, I think Kavs mentioned earlier, like now both parties work, right? So it's not a situation where like I go to work, I do my work in the daytime, or I do this particular thing and this is what I bring. Like if you're both working and you're both making money, then certainly the expectation would be you're both contributing financially to your relationship. And so if both of you are contributing financially, then with regards to like everything else in terms of like house chores and emotionally and all of that, I would expect some degree of like, contribution from both sides, as opposed to like a slightly more traditional one where there are very discrete expectations of each partner.
Yeah. Thanks for that clarification on what you meant by traditional versus progressive. And it's a spectrum, yeah. Okay. So let's see. Painter, how about you? What's your take on this?
First and foremost, please, Cubs, if you're looking for somebody to cook, clean, take care of the children, I am available. I will marry you. You don't have to do anything at home, just make the money. But sure, please, as she has stated that she's very, very comfortable, fine. Let a girl look out for herself. Thank you very much. But on a more serious note, I wouldn't even know where to place myself. I think like Zogba, it's a spectrum. It's not, you don't have fixed points. I would say I tend to lean towards progressives, but not because I'm trying to be a rebel or anything, or, just I don't like traditional, but just because of the way I was brought up. Which factors, and I wasn't brought up in a 2-parent home. So all these, a man is supposed to do this, a woman is supposed, I have never seen it play out in my life. So I'm not going to go into a relationship thinking about those things because that hasn't been my reality. And I'm aware that for a lot of other people in single parent homes, you hear other people saying, oh, as a woman, you're supposed to do this, because I can almost imagine church aunties and church uncles giving unsolicited advice. I've been advised one or too many times how to set tables. My house, we have never set a table. My first time of setting a table, I think, was when I was in JSS 2, and that was catering. And then after that, I didn't set a table until 2012 when I went to stay at one of my friend's house, and they set a table every night for dinner. Me, my house, never happens. So just for that particular reason, I would say I tend to lean towards progressive, because a lot of the things I think should make sense tend to lean in that direction. Like, again, like I said before, it's not because of anything, but just because I've never seen a traditional relationship like play closely or influence most of my relationships. I mean, when I was in class 1, I told a boy I wanted to marry him, and it was very normal. In fact, my mother delivered the letter to his mother, and it was very normal for us. I like this. My mother would be like, Mama, if you like him, go and tell him. Like, so again, but that's just me.
Okay, that's nice. And I like how
I was going to say that's a serious upgrade on the "Will you go out with me?" checkbox yes, checkbox no, checkbox maybe. Will you marry me is like serious escalation, bro.
In all fairness, I wanted a big brother, and I thought that when you married the person, they would become your sibling. I don't know how I thought about it that way. So I asked him to marry me because I also wanted a big brother. Okay, thank you.
No be small, so Jimmy Lannister. No be small.
Okay, so yeah, that was an interesting perspective, and Mimi, I'm sure this goes back to some of the conversations we've talked about, psychology of money, and how the way we were brought up influences our relationships with money. All right. Okay, so let's see. We'll hear from Angel, and then I think Caps wanted to say something. So then we'll go back. We'll finish up with Mimi before I ask the next question. Let me preempt the next question. So guys, we need ideas. People need ideas, and the way it's looking like is like the guys have to take notepads out. We need gifts and date ideas, especially on a budget, because as you can see, they've extended the debt exchange program. So that means the money that we expect is not coming in time soon. So people have to make do with whatever was left after Christmas. Yeah. So people need ideas. So Angel, let's hear from you.
Okay, so I think the most important thing that people forget when it comes to people and their relationships is that everybody has their rules. So if you happen to realize that, okay, what you think is normal is not what someone else thinks is normal, you have to be okay with it. Like, you have to be very okay with it and not judgmental, because this has made me realize that everybody literally has different points of views, or everybody's relationship has a very different dynamic, and people on the outside really, really have to be okay with it. Like, it's something I'm stressing on immensely. You really have to be okay with it. You cannot sit down somewhere and say that because you are you're doing something for your man, it means you're, what's the word? I want to choose my words carefully. You're meaning, but basically you cannot sit and judge someone for how their relationship dynamic goes, because it works for them. And probably if maybe you also thought about how you can equally make things work for you, you wouldn't be stressed. 2023, there's a lot going on. Don't let like a very simple thing stress you out. So that's just what I wanted to add to it. Thank you.
That's nice. Different people have different things that work for them, and it just brings a thought of compatibility. Like, if somebody wants something, okay, that's you. I want something different. We respectfully walk away from it.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Honestly, you really have to be accepting, and you have to be able to say, oh, okay, that's what makes you happy. That's what makes you and your person okay. Cool. I agree. You can have very different opinions. You can have very different perspectives. You can see things from a lot of angles. But I mean, you really have to be okay with it at the end of the day, because it's not you. Maybe you even go into that and you will be stressed, but the person is not stressed. So why are you making it your problem? So yes, that's it.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Let's KVK, do you still want
it's
to say
okay.
something?
Let's move on.
Oh, okay. All right. Mimi, how about you? What's your take on this? Again, the question is you're already married, so what kind of relationship do you like to have? And I hope your husband is not listening. In fact, no, we know for a fact he's listening. So tread lightly.
He's not here anymore. He was here before making features.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, I think that okay. So I used to think that I was the progressive type, but I've really been assessing myself. And I think I'm progressive, but with limits. So I have a budget for my progressiveness. Once it goes beyond that, it's your problem. So I'm somewhere, within the spectrum. I feel bad when people generally, like Abner said, if you get me a gift as a friend, I don't know, I feel that burden till I give you something back. I feel that burden. Like, I'm not very good with receiving gifts. I feel bad that you've gotten me something and I've not. So I remember a while back chasing a friend with a birthday gift, saying, can you go for a massage? And she kept on giving me excuses. So I never felt comfortable taking a gift from her. So that's me. And my husband even sees it a lot. Like, I'm not very good with accepting gifts. So I would like it to be sort of balance. I don't want to feel like I'm taking advantage of you. But as I said, I have my limits. Once the budget is finished, that is it. It's your problem.
Okay. Terms and conditions apply. Well, promotion valid until stocks last. That's interesting. That's an interesting perspective on this. Okay. I'll share mine in a moment, but let's hear from Virgil and then Lee. Virgil, welcome upstage. What's your thoughts on this? The kind of relationship you'd like to have?
Yeah. So I just wanted to emphasize on what the pen say or what I can't mention that name properly. Or what
you can call me Mama.
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 Yes, Mama.
Yes.
Mama said. It depends on how you were brought up, because she said certain things which I tend to relate to due to my upbringing. So if you're not really exposed to the traditional kind of lifestyle, you would not know how to react if you have a partner who has that. So there will be a lot of learning and unlearning, because with me, basically, I had an experience where I tend to lean towards the progressive. By once I got with somebody who was more traditional in terms of the way she wanted a relationship to be like, and it took a lot to actually understand where she was coming from, because I tend to believe that like it's everything should be spontaneously, and I'm not really big on. I prefer to give people money rather than give gifts, because I can't think of very far in terms of gifts. If you ask me, if you want me to surprise you with a gift, it's very difficult. I'll ask you what you want, then I'll get you what you want. So it's basically trying to minimize it. If I can't get you what you want, I'll give you cash so that it stops the whole issues. I feel that it's something which works for me, but there are people who would want you to put a lot of thought into getting gifts. I feel those things are very important to them, and that comes from upbringing, because they've been used to surprises. So it's with me personally, it's all about knowing exactly where both of you lie and getting to a middle ground. That's just basically it, and that's where I think, from my experiences, I've gotten to. Personally, I do love a progressive relationship, but like I said, if you're in with somebody, you have to find a middle ground and everything.
Interesting. Okay. So you like a progressive one, but willing to find a middle ground. Okay, that's great. Lee, how about you? You wanted to say something on this?
Yeah. So I have 2 points to make, and then I think when it comes to personally, right, I would prefer say the progressive type of relationship, but then at the end of the day, it also depends on who you are actually in the relationship with and what they are used to. So if you are in a relationship with someone who is not that much of a gift giver, probably not their fault. They are not used to it. And then there are those who also feel, so like some said, you buy me something, I feel like it's a burden. I also have to get you something. Sometimes it's like this person is getting me this thing because they are expecting something from me and probably I can't give back. But what I will say is, like I said earlier, getting to know your partner most of the time is the ideal, because then you know that, okay, I'm giving this to the person and the person won't be obliged to do anything for me. Because at the end of the day, for me personally, I give because I want to see whoever I'm giving happy. There are times I give even randomly, like I've met this person just for the first time and I realize that if I get them this, it will be nice. I just get it for them, right? Because I feel this would make the person happy. For me, it's always about making the person happy, because if I make someone happy, I'm also happy. If you don't get me anything, I'm cool with it. But it's also nice that you give me something, not that I'm asking, but from your times, I feel you also think about me, that you think, okay, I also deserve this. It also makes me happy. Then one thing is, I think it is difficult for women to actually get gifts from men because we really don't talk about what we are going through. I think women do more of the talking most times in relationship. My day was bad, this happened to me, but men rarely do that. So I think that also has a role to play with why it's difficult for women to actually do things for men. Right. And at the end of the day, if you're in a relationship with someone, I think communication is very vital. And it is based on that the relationship will develop. So it could be a little bit of the traditional, a little bit of the progressive, or like you said, it's a spectrum. So it boils down to how the two of you put yourself together. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. It's finding it difficult to find stuff for men. I was just talking to somebody recently, and the person couldn't wrap their head around it. I was like, I don't like gifts. Why? Because people usually give me the wrong gifts. And they can't wrap their heads around it. I just want something simple, something black. That's all. When you see me, what do you see me wearing? It's always something black. Why? Why are you trying to give me funny colors? Do you ever see
I think it's because you're not that. I think you're not that open, so they find it difficult. Like, what does he want? Like, what will make him happy? Right?
It's simple. Keep it simple. No. But anyway,
But do you communicate that? It's not an but do you communicate that okay? I like
yes. I can assure you, communication is not a challenge I have at all.
So when I'm saying communication, it's not about literally saying I like this, but then sometimes your actions, like they say, speak louder than words, right? Because you say, it literally happens. You find someone saying, I like say blue stuff, but then you get a person something blue and the person is like, it doesn't work for me, right? And you're confused.
If somebody says they like blue stuff and they're a guy and you get them blue lingerie, they won't like it, right? That's the point. So you can't just take what I'm saying, blue stuff.
So sometimes it's not necessarily saying that I like it. Sometimes, the way you handle certain things also gives off.
No, then that person is a poor communicator. Then the problem there is the person communicating what they like. They have to say, I like this thing.
No, but you can't.
Wait, are we all thinking about the same blue stuff?
You can't. Wait. Right, guys. Let's bring it in. Let's bring it in. I guess the point really is on communication. Great, Jed, I see your hand, but just a second. So my take on this is, in the last year, or in the second half of last year up to now, my situations have changed in a couple of ways, and my perspective on this thing has changed. Like, ask me this question a year ago, I would have said, progressive through and through. Like, I've been living that progressive life. I'll do everything. Like, you come to my see me sweeping, see me doing all those kind of things that you didn't expect, like the traditional man to be doing, right? And then now it's changed because I'm in a different environment. I'm seeing things differently. I'm understanding things in a different way. And it's about what worked in certain scenarios versus what worked in other scenarios. Let me get a bit more specific, right? If I'm looking to be in a relationship with someone and I'm in Cornell, listen, these Ivy League women move different. Like it's a lot of activism, and it's a lot like it's hard to find really simple conversations. And I go like, wait, hold on. I would rather want. I don't have the capacity to for ambiguity in terms of, okay, we'll figure out the rules as we go on. I'd rather have something more defined. I know that, okay, I'm the leader. I'll be the provider. You know, all those things. I keep it simple. This is what I want. This is what I want from you. Are we aligned on that? Cool. If we are not aligned on that, we move on, right? Also realizing that at this level, being in a kind of a progressive relationship with someone also at this level, a classmate of, someone in our circle said something. He said, at a certain level of genius, there's a bit of madness that comes with it. Maybe that's my experience that's showing me that, actually, in certain situations, it just has to be toned. It just has to be toned down a little for me. Like a couple of days ago, I was having a conversation with somebody, and I was like, listen, it's Sunday. I've been working all day on a Sunday, and I'm done. Like I'm done with my day around 10-11 p.m. Remember, it's Sunday, and I just want to have a chill conversation, talk about something simpler. And they're like, yeah, so what do you like? What do you like most about being in America? And it's not, and having conversations like a networking event, like such high level.
What do you like most about being in America?
Yes. And again, I guess I didn't give the context, but knowing the kind of person and the kind of conversation and the kind of answer I was expecting, it's not about all the opportunities for trips and all those things. Like, these are some of the, like, if anyone knows what I mean, like networking events kind of questions, questions that are very intellectual. I'm like, it's at the end of the day, like we've been having these kind of conversations all day. We've been doing this. Can we switch gears a bit more? You get what I'm saying? Maybe this is not on a topic of gender rules, but it's more about, for me, it's not just about it being an issue of gender roles, but it's a question of the what's in the mind of people that I meet who would want a certain type of relationship. The mindset is a bit different from how someone who wanted another type of relationship would be behaving, So that makes me realize that if I want something more relaxed, I want something where, look, I'll be chairman, the usual chairman. Look, I provide, you do this for me, I do that for you. We keep it simple. That's something I'm leaning more towards. I've not been too specific because, Charlie, some of these things, where I'm at these days, you just can't say certain things too clearly for it to be. Else I'll get cancelled. Seeing someone messaging me on the back end to say, you get what I'm saying. So, yeah. Anyway, let's see. I see that there are some reactions to this, so let's go around. Great that you had wanted to say something. Is it on what I just said or earlier? And then we go to
I actually wanted to say something on what Lee said, but I can't recall what it is now. I should have definitely written it down, but I will just come off the back of what you're saying. So I think that and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like what you're saying is that you want structure in your relationship. Like, you want defined structure in your relationship, because then it makes it easier in your relationship for you guys to understand what each person is supposed to do. I don't necessarily think that is a traditional relationship. That can also be a progressive relationship, because progressive relationships we just see as we go along. You can actually have structure in a progressive relationship based on different things. So I think that when most people tend to think about, that's why I really wanted to clarify that, when you think about a traditional relationship, a lot of the times you put it under traditional gender roles. Like, this is what the man does, this is what the woman does. Now, stepping away from that to what you were saying about sometimes you just want to chill and have a relaxing Sunday, I wanted to add to that
like, you know, the whole, and this is a little bit off topic, but you know, the whole concept of Sundays being relaxing is coming from the fact that in your head, that is what you see as normal. Like it's perfectly, for some people, it's perfectly normal for Sundays to not be relaxing days. Because like Sundays are an actual day that they go to work and an actual day that they do stuff. So like, you know, for you, a lot of what you are seeing and a lot of like your idea of what your Sunday would mean is based on like, it's a cultural perception that you have. And it's definitely helpful to find somebody with a similar cultural perception when you're going into a relationship, so that is not something that you now have to come and define within the context of your relationship as well. But yeah, I think we're straying a little bit far away from the money topic and going more into like relationship dynamics. But yeah, I just wanted to add that to it. Yes, and I remember the final thing I wanted to add as well. With regards to the whole money thing, I wanted to say that money being a source of security, and people like in more traditional relationships, people expecting men to be the providers is not something strange, right? Because like traditionally, right, or in very traditional old, I guess like our evolutionary systems tend to recognize men as the provider. So if you expect men to be the source of provision and now money is the way you provide, then it's understandable that the roles would be defined as like men be the ones to bring the money.
Interesting. All right. So more clarity on the traditional rules. Okay. Virgil, and then we hear from KBK.
So basically, like what Jedi said was what I was going to say. You're going through a cultural shock, and that's what is influencing you, that you're looking for something you've been used to. Basically, like what Jedi said, the best option is maybe to look for somebody who has a similar interest in what you're looking for. For what you are saying, I still wanted to ask that, is it you want your ego being stroked? That's what, because you were saying things like chairman and stuff, and I just wanted to figure out if that's what you're looking for and you are just coining it. Because if somebody wants to have an intellectual conversation with you and you're like, willing to have it and you want a relaxed conversation, what exactly is your definition of a relaxed conversation? So these are certain things. For me personally, I don't like lengthy conversations consistently at a particular period of time. It doesn't mean that I don't want to have an intellectual conversation. So even if you're going to have an intellectual conversation or we're going to have any type of conversation, I want it short so that I can go and do other things. I feel we can do other things at night. I can watch a movie. I can spend my time doing something else. So it doesn't mean I do not like you. I just don't like those things. So like I said, with you, what is your definition of a relaxed conversation? And not saying that maybe per se the person is asking you a lecture, because people can actually have stimulating conversations which necessarily can be put under the context of a relaxed conversation. That's why I want to understand more. Maybe Caps.
The counseling session, but okay, this would be lovely. Like guys, we can actually take this on, on the side. As someone will say, here's roadside, higher quite chain. And so some things get lost in translation. Well, just to clarify one thing before we move on, in the example I was given, it's a situation where when dealing with certain people who are highly intellectual, it's always the conversation always gets intellectual, and it's good to have someone that we can have those intellectual conversations with. But how about 10% of the time we talk about the softer things? You get what I'm saying? And especially having the emotional intelligence to understand the kind of day that someone has had. So that's why, and I do get the clarifications on the traditional, but I'm saying I like it the traditional way. Like there can be structure in progressive, there can be structure in traditional. I like it the traditional way is what I'm saying. Okay, all right. Switching to Caps, do you still want to say something, or we move on to the final question?
Let's switch. Yeah.
Okay. Come again?
No, let's move on.
All right. Okay, so now I'm looking in the audience and I'm seeing my guys pulling out pen and paper. Guys, are you ready? Please, we need advice. we need tips on how to spend this Val's Day on a budget. Like, we know all the fancy things that can be done. We just need to go on Instagram right now or go on Twitter and just scroll. Or just we see all those things, okay? But in the context of where the economy is right now, we need some ideas. What can we do without breaking the bank? Anyone wants to go ahead? Maybe I should start with you, Madam Frugal. What's the minimum that you accept?
Okay, as I said, I don't have a budget for Val's Day, so I'm not expecting anything. However, some nice chocolate cake, cupcakes would be nice, and a nice bar of Swiss chocolate. So, I mean, 100, 200 cedi should be fine, but I personally don't have a budget for Val's Day, so no one should be expecting a gift from me.
Oh yeah. We've definitely accepted. I think at this point, the brethren in here, the way the conversation has gone, we've accepted that the Val's Day is for the men, is for the boys and the men to be spending. So give us the ideas. So yeah, okay. Swiss chocolates, we had that one in there. No problem. Chocolates, cupcakes. Okay, good. KBK, how about you?
I was just going to say that if I heard my man trying to take advice from a Twitter space about what to do for me, I'll be so mad. And it's coming back to what Virgil was doing. Virgil was displaying some behavior that I wasn't understanding. What do you mean by you don't know what people like? You can't get them gifts, etc. It's given you are not attentive to your partners and your friends.
Let me come in.
No,
I don't
guys, hold on. Just for the decorum, please. No direct attacks.
No,
okay, maybe you guys have. No.
Oh no. It's not an attack.
Okay.
But I just want to explain it further. Okay, so the thing is that me personally, if you give me gifts I do not like them at all. I'll keep them the whole year and I might end up giving it out. And because of my own experience, I am somebody who prefer that if I want to get you something, I would ask you, what do you want? If I cannot get it for you and I cannot give you cash, I'll give you cash. I feel that works for me in my life. It might not work for people. I've actually been in a relationship with somebody who expected you to think so hard to actually get gifts you expect you to pick cues from the things she likes. I've realized in my course of life that I don't have that energy or I don't have that foresight, unfortunately for me. So I would say that I prefer to ask, what do you want? If I can afford it, I give it to you. If I can't, I give you cash. I think it works for a lot of people. Maybe I might be wrong.
Okay. Money. Please, what's your name? What do we call it? Elikem. Okay, Elikem. Sorry. Virgil is my friend, so I'm sure he doesn't feel attacked. But I think
I could imagine that my only concern is for people in the audience.
Okay, people in the audience, please. But I guess the whole point I was trying to make is that it doesn't have to be like things set in stone. Because if I find that this year is like this is what people are doing and it did some for me, I don't think I'll really appreciate it as much as I told you that I really like malt some time ago and you bought me malt. It's little things that you pick up on from the conversation. And I think like everybody is so different that it's hard to like have like a mold that everyone should fit into. And it's annoying when people are generalizing these things in this way, but I feel like that's really the truth. If you buy me a hamper with toffees and things, it's not going to work for me. So personally, malt works best for me. But anyway, the guys can give us ideas, or the women can also tell us what they like.
Interesting. Someone will say, "Hey, malt is small." I can assure you. I went somewhere and I hadn't seen Malta Guinness for months, and I saw it. The way I feel, I acted like a child in a candy store. But yeah, I totally get you. And your point is actually not lost. Your point is not lost. Hearing generic ideas that everyone is talking about on the internet is one thing, but honestly, Charlie, some people are struggling to come up with ideas. So just being in a space where they pick up something, they go like, "Oh, okay. Maybe this will." I've heard something from this person before, and this is what will work for my person. So you know what? Thanks for this idea. Maybe if I wasn't in this conversation, I wouldn't have even thought about it. So we're just generating ideas, brainstorming to get something out of it. Okay, let's see. Any more ideas? Pencil. Some
Okay.
ideas for the brethren?
I think general ideas for couples, not just for brethren. Depends.
Okay.
If your partner is into alcohol, so wine, rum, gin, 100 to let's say 500 should cost it for you. You can get Johnny Walker, Black Label. It's just about 300 to 350. You can get bottles of wine. Bottles of wine, they're please looking at 100 and above, okay? You can get Afro Spirit, which is about 220 to 250. It's rum or gin, I'm not sure. So you can just walk into a liquor store. If your person's into alcohol. If your person is into gifts, you can go to MV at the Accra Mall. You can go to Banana. They have really nice clips, really nice earrings, really nice jewelry. You can literally stroll in Makola. There's actually a section in Makola that caters to just jewelry, and you wouldn't have to break a bank. You'd be looking from 100 to let's say 300. You'd get really, really nice. There's a bracelet girl on the TL. I think her personal artist Hima. I'm not sure. No, your rich auntie. Yes, your rich auntie. But I can't remember her actual name. But she sells really nice, affordable jewelry. So if your person is into jewelry, or Lily does Dayams, or Maria Kari Kinafama, she also sells really nice jewelry for unisex jewelry. So if your person's into that, you can do that. Mimi already mentioned the chocolates. You can do a chocolate basket, and that's really pretty. You can get one of those cute treasure chest box from China Mall, which should be about 40 to 50 CDs. Get an assortment of chocolates, and it's really, really sweet. If your partner is into cloth, a 6 yards should be about 200 CDs. Unless you're buying GTP and co, then you're looking above. But wooden, I think, should be about 300 or more inflation. You can get a shirt from Nelem. You can get a shirt from Woodin. It doesn't... I mean, I hope all of you... These are all ideas you can just get for your partner. If your partner is into clothes, you can get something nice from a boutique. So, yeah, basically, I think these should help.
Okay, that's great. And in case anyone missed that, don't worry. You can go back and listen to the conversation on our Twitter profile or on our podcast or our YouTube. Okay, great. Angel, then we go to Zuba.
Hi. So, quick one. I think with where budget is concerned and how much you're spending, like Mama said, there's really a wide range, like a really, really, really wide range. So for someone like me that this is like my business I do on the side, I tend to ask my clients that, okay, what's your budget? Then I proceed to ask, what does the person like? The only problem I encounter is with men. Some of them are clueless. They're absolutely clueless. And sometimes I laugh because I'm like, so you and this person, how do you talk? Or then I just leave it and I'm like, okay, no problem. So
it's given Virgil.
No, but you see, Virgil's own I understand, because sometimes, and with the economy we're in right now, sometimes giving cash to someone makes the person's day, you know? It could even be the person wanted cash to sort something out, and then you just happen to give them that. So sometimes the cash even goes a long way than you think, you know? It's just sometimes when you have the sentimental thing to it that you want something a bit more, or you'd appreciate the actual gift a bit more. And that's pretty much okay. But really and truly, there's a wide range. You just need to know your person. You really, really just need to know the person you're with. And I think for women, it's a bit easier because there's a range of from flowers to jewelry to sweets and now there's even skincare. Like you can do skincare, you can I could go on and on, really. For one, I do flowers, and usually when I tell people, oh, would you like to get your person flowers? They're like, are they bad? Then I'm like, oh, Charlie, I mean, there are so many things you can actually do with flowers. Roses like this, you can actually make rose water. So if your person is into skincare, they would really appreciate the roses because they know that they can make it into rose water. If they appreciate like bookmarks, you can make roses into bookmarks. So that helps as well. And honestly, like if your person is also, the love language of your person is also very important. Maybe the person just wants to spend time with you, or they would appreciate like a nice in-house date night setup. That one, you don't even need to spend much. Usually food, you do movies, and yeah, it's really about creativity. And that's what makes me enjoy what I do so much, because I could go really wild with my imagination half the time. Unless maybe the person is really tight on a budget, then sometimes I'm like, okay, I could do this, I could do that for you. And usually it works out. It really does. So for me, hey, what I like there. My mouth opens small, just a tiny bit, but it's not too much. I really like jewelry. And anything that really comes from somebody I love, I appreciate it very much. But also, you need to know me well enough. Because there are certain things that if you give me, I will not like. Like, there's definitely certain things that you give me, I will absolutely not like. Like, I'm on a diet.
But Angel, pardon me. Let me just insert just so we don't go off topic. Is at this point, we are looking at, the question really is about like doing this on a budget, to be sensitive to the times we are in. Yeah.
So you're looking for like suggestions? Okay, so.
Oh yeah, but I think we've taken some of the things that you've said actually can be done like, on a budget, So
like a setup, like something small done at home. These days, the sip and paints that are you have to go to places to do them. You can literally do your own sip and paint at home. So that saves you on the transportation, one. And you can have your food at home. If, let's say, I think sometimes some of these ideas, like the date nights at homes, are a bit complex if the person doesn't live alone. That's when it becomes a bit of a problem. But if the person does, you can be creative. You can cook at home. And I mean, if you budget like, let's say, for your at-home date night, maybe you budget like 500 cedis. You can use, let's say, 200 to buy stuff, either food or maybe a few things to just cook for two people. I don't think it should be that much. Or you can, what else? Yeah, if not the sip and paint, you can just do your regular Netflix and chill. You can, honestly, if I start talking, I might not.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, you might not.
Yeah. These are some good ideas we could work with.
It's really about what your person likes. And jewelry like this, I mean, you can get really affordable jewelry. Really, really affordable jewelry.
Okay.
And I think right now, women are even more big on jewelry because, I mean, they look good in it. So anything that makes a woman look good. Yeah. Shoes. These days, there's shoes that range from like 100 cedis, like heels, I mean, from 100, 150, 200 cedis. You can get shoes for your person, and you can just get it put in like a really nice packaging and sent to her. Swimsuits. If your person is big on swimsuits, you can get something really cool and nice for her. Or you can even put, if you want to be a bit more creative, put together like a beach package where you have swimsuits, maybe a beach hat, and maybe some very nice sunglasses. Should cost you about maybe 300 to 400 cedis. That's even the 400 is a bit much, but roughly, that you can really go crazy with ideas. You just need to know what the person likes. So, yes, that's it.
Okay, great. Okay, guys. So we've done an hour and a half. Typically do an hour, but it's Val's Day coming up, and it's talking about love and money. Who can put their time on that, right? So yeah, we'll start wrapping up soon. I see there are some ideas. I was gonna call on Zuba, then we go to Enyonam, and then Virgil. Then we just start wrapping it up. So Zuba.
Okay, so I like the first thing I wanted to say, and I think this is really important, is when you are getting a gift for somebody, get a gift that they will like. Not a gift you think you would like to see them enjoy. So like, let's say you know that your partner is really big into video games, but you don't really care about video games. You won't get them a video game, but maybe you get them a really nice shirt because you think they would look nice in it. Maybe your partner doesn't want a nice shirt. Maybe what he wants is a video game. Like when you're getting a gift for somebody, think about what that person would actually like, as opposed to what you think is good for that person, because it's a gift, right? It's not like a burden. That's one. But with regards to the gift ideas for Valentine's Day, like people have read on this space. I think it's the most important. Like you should take the time. Everybody should take the time to know their partner. A particular to find when you color pictures, it helps to reduce your anxiety. So I found pictures like that with that actor. It's not super expensive. Is clear that, okay, this is somebody I care about. This is somebody that's important to me. I listen to what you say, and then I try to find who I can use. If I can use the gift, I prefer it way more than like a gift that just sits there and I look at it from time to time. So yeah, like it's just about like having a conversation with your partner, listening to what they say, even like in like flippant moments, and then trying to find things within your budget that can work for that. So like the lady, I think Pencil was talking about a place where you can be creative about a way to implement that, and then like just do that. I know yams and make her a card out of yams, and she loved it. Like she would put them up everywhere because like she really liked stuff like that. So yeah, you just have to kind of know what's like, talk to your person, kind of know what they like, pay attention to it, and then try and get creative with it.
I think Elihem is having a little challenge with his microphone. Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
So we've had a fruitful discussion. In fact, we've gone beyond the normal 1 hour. So let's wrap it up. We are going round. Let's wrap it up. What would you tell people this Val's Day? What's your final message about love and money? Because the ladies are saying something else, the guys are saying something else. So what's your view? What's your final conclusion on this matter? So I'll take it. I've forgotten the names. My fancy sister. Let me start with you.
Hi, Mimi. Before I forget, if you are looking for great male gift recommendations, Kmore has excellent gift recommendations that are affordable. His artist, I think, K__MO. He's a little macho, so if you see the macho in the Eva, don't be alarmed. Okay, but Val's Day, by all means, go all out if you want to. If you're like me and you've been affected by the debt restructuring, please know your place. If you want to go and borrow, I mean, do so, but wisely. Last, if they come for you for debt recovery, I'll get work. So all is fair in love and war, I guess. That's it.
Hi, Mimi. I think I lost connection. I'm back now. I just want to do a quick check before we continue going round. Enyonam had wanted to speak. Enyonam, were you able to speak?
No, but I think they moved on from the topic. So, Great Jedi, why are you laughing?
Oh, you know what? Let's just hear you on this. Let's hear.
I was laughing at what Pencil said about how like if you end up in debt, they'll come to her for debt recovery. She's recruiting.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. But anyway, I was gonna recommend, because I thought you were asking for like affordable recommendations for Valentine's Day. And I think there's this place in Osu, it's next to Cocoon. They do like wine tastings paired with African like foods and stuff. So I feel like that would be like a great Valentine's Day, kind of like switch it up a bit, because it's not the most common thing to do in Ghana, and I don't think a lot of people know about it. So yeah, I don't know the name of the place. I'm not sure how much it costs because I didn't pay, but I know it's like on the same stretch as Cocoon. So yeah.
Okay.
What's funny? Why is everyone laughing?
Since you didn't pay, you are not too sure, brethren. Let's end. Well, okay. To everyone, just Google it before you go. So before you go and get shocked, there are so many times
but I think it's affordable. Please, it won't be anything more than 1,000 cedis.
1,000. Okay. All right. Okay. Affordability is relative, but okay. Thank you for that. Yeah, okay, let's back to what Mimi was guiding on. Yeah, final words. KBK, how about you? Any final words on this topic?
Yeah, my final words are that I am single and I'm in America. So if you want to start something, we can use the Valentine's Day to start. Personally, I'm not very difficult to impress. Some more to do any of the things that Aoki and Pencil mentioned. I'll be happy with them because you don't know me very well right now. But yeah, I'm just looking for a man. Thank you.
Somebody said I should ask you to check your DMs very shortly.
Okay, God bless you. Oh,
yeah. Money Convos, bringing people together. Okay, let's see. Zuba, how about you? Final words?
I just want to hear the host. So if you want me to speak, could somebody else please tell me if he was asking me to speak or...
Yeah, final words? Oh.
He said your final words.
Okay, yeah, because I couldn't hear him. Okay, well, yeah,
so
I mean, I can hear you, but I couldn't hear him at all. So that works. But yeah, my final words are like, again, like I said in the beginning, like, you know, it's great to take embrace like the person that you love. It's great to, you know, give them like special appreciation on this day. I think Valentine's Day is a very like important day for couples, and I think it's like symbolically it's very, very, it's a good thing. Like the only thing I'll stop short, like the only thing that I guess I would buttress that by saying is that try not to equate the amount of money that is spent or the amount of the value of whatever you get to the, you know, the amount of affection this person feels towards you, because sometimes like a small sentimental gift might actually mean more, or might have been more difficult for the person to get for you, or might have been more difficult for the person to get for you than like a big expensive gift. So like, you know, sometimes try and just appreciate the fact that somebody's actually taking the time to show you affection and like, you know, get you something that actually might be helpful or make you feel good. Like that alone is a display of affection. So yeah.
Great. Thanks for sharing that. I see a lot of disagreement in the audience with you, but great. Okay. Virgil, how about you?
Oh, okay. So basically, I just want to say the first thing is love doesn't have any formula. So you can do it whatever you want if it works for both of you. And please stay within your financial lane. Like people said, we are doing restrictions, so we beg you. Right now, things hot. So don't go and buy something where you go and give to somebody and there's frown faces all over. Then that means that your night's spoiled. So please, I'm a firm believer of asking. So if you can't ask, then good luck to you. Bye-bye.
Don't get under the pressure. Affordability is very relative. So make sure you don't fall under that pressure. Okay. Angel, how about you?
Okay, so basically I'm still taking orders for Valentine's Day. You know, I'm a hopeless romantic, by the way. So I really go crazy with my ideas, with my business. Yeah, so still taking orders, Cupid's baskets. We do from flowers to date night setups to anything. I mean, if you're ready to fund it, I will give you crazy ideas. So please bring your orders, Cupid's baskets. If you want roses, anything for this Valentine's Day, I've got you. Also, if you want really nice jewelry, Fit Lounge GH, really, really unique, nice jewelry. Please, let's put some smiles on your ladies' faces or even your friends. I mean, Valentine's Day is about like for couples, but if you want to show your friends love too, please feel free and do that. If you have the money, like was it cabs? Yeah, if you have the money, please feel free. Blow money. Spend. If you don't have the money to, then yeah, to now feel away calmly. Nobody will vex. Nobody will be upset. But yeah, please. I finished taking orders on Sunday, so please come through with your orders. Thank you, and have a good night.
That's great. So while we are on the topic of plugs, if you've not followed those of us up here, please do take a second to follow us, and especially Money Convos. Follow us here on Twitter, on Instagram, Facebook. Go on YouTube, subscribe if you are curious about previous conversations we've had. Check us out on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search for Money Convos. And also on Instagram, look out for Investment Friend. Investment Friend likes to give does personal finance coaching. That's Mimi and Sarah. We've heard them speak. They do personal finance coaching for women. So if guys still follow, let the women on your timeline see and get access to this, and we'll all be better off for it. Okay. Oh, and yeah, Money Convos, we also have these discussions on about money and self-development and anything related on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. GMT. So do tune in anytime you can. All right, let's see. Who have I not? Lee will take final words from you, and then Mimi, and then I'll do mine.
Okay, so I think almost everything has been said, but then I just want to touch on what Zogba said about getting something that you prefer is nice. So like the example he gave, right? He likes games, and you can't afford the game, you can afford a t-shirt. Why not make it a customized t-shirt of the game he likes? Probably that would do. So yeah, I think like they said, get to know your partner and know what they like. It makes it much easier. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Thanks for sharing that. Mimi, how about you?
Yeah, I think I will just stick with, I know the pressure is real, that's on. I know how it feels to be in the office, see people get roses and have nothing, but try and stick to your budget. Don't have a further haircut from this whole situation. So let's try to be disciplined and manage expectations. Thank you.
Maybe you are keeping it really short and sweet. Okay. Keeping it as simple as people's budgets are going to be for this Val's Day. Okay, I see that Angel and Lee still want to say something, or is just reactions?
No, please. Also, I want to suggest something for the women that actually want to blow the cash. You know, please, if you want to buy him that PS5, that's Apple Watch, you know, I have a friend, Kofi Sika, he will come through for you real quick. So please, if you want to do show, do the show. And don't hold back, don't hold back at all. There are people that are there for that. So yes, if you want to do the show, do the show. I'm talking to the women though, mostly. Those that don't mind, please, come buy that PS5. Tea for things.
Nice. Guy, so yeah, this is definitely a great light at the end of the tunnel for guys. So please, if you're a guy and you heard this, make your ladies come and listen to this conversation, the replay of it. Lee, final last words, then we'll close this out.
Oh yeah, no. It looks like everyone is putting what they do out there. So let me just add, I actually do customize t-shirts. So in case you want to customize a t-shirt for that loved one, you can contact me.
That's great. So guys, just follow everyone up here, and let's move things around. Oh, Cabs, you also have something you want to? Okay, all right.
Yeah, I also do some things. So if you want to do maybe a nice flyer for your partner or a website, if you have $1,000, that's how I have my $1,000 website. So if you want to do something like that for your partner, so I can do it. Thank you.
Okay, great. $1,000 websites and flyers. Okay, great. Okay, guys. So thank you for spending your Wednesday evenings with us, afternoon for some of you. It was a pleasure having you, and thank you for our speakers. Most of you are new here with on Money Convos. Thank you for accepting our request, especially through Prince. Much appreciation to Prince. It's been an interesting conversation we've had. Looking forward to you all joining us again next week, and until then, I do hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Just make sure that you don't break the bank doing something you can't afford. Show love, but don't go broke doing it. All right, then. Have a good night and enjoy yourselves. Bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to our thoughts. I hope you learned a thing or two and start practicing. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Clubhouse, and Facebook. And subscribe to our YouTube and podcast. Do tell a friend about Money Convos so we all become wealthy together. Talk to you soon. Bye.